This is Boxing Talk 8576. I want to talk about the Mayweather movement, and not I'm not critical of the Mayweather movement. If you're a Mayweather fan, that's fine. Is he your favorite fighter? That's fine. If you like his style, that's good too. It's just if you're a fan of Mayweather Jr., just stand on it. Roll with him, and to the end. But it's some Mayweather fanatics out there. It's some Mayweather fans out there that just think Mayweather is the greatest fighter of all times. And they believe that boxing started when Mayweather started fighting in it, around 1996, when his career started. But boxing has been around for a very, very long time, over 100 years or so. Boxing has produced some great champions, great stars, with just fabulous legacies. Boxing has created a lot of different personalities, um, fighters from all, you know, backgrounds and, different ethnic groups. Um, so to say someone is the greatest ever, you have to give the person that you're telling that to a reason, a good reason. You can't just say, "Oh, Mayweather's the greatest fighter ever because he has the best defense," or "Mayweather the greatest fighter ever because he has the best copy box record of landing and not getting hit." You can't say, "Oh, Mayweather the greatest ever," and forget about those guys that fought before him because they're just garbage, they're just trash. Because I have a friend, he likes Mayweather. He's a Mayweather fanatic, and he just basically say Mayweather is the greatest ever because Mayweather got the best defense. Nobody trains like him, and I tell him like, man, but there's some great fighters that came before Mayweather. How can you just say he's better than those guys? And he say, oh man, those fighters in the past, man, forget those fighters. You know, I don't care about those fighters. Those fighters are slow, especially the ones in the black and white era. I don't care about those fighters. I'm like, well, why you don't care about those fighters? Those fighters, and a lot of those fighters in the black and white era dominated, you know, boxing better than Mayweather dominated his era, you know. So you can't just say Mayweather is the best without doing your homework. You just can't say he's the best without learning about other fighters first. You have to go back in history. You have to go back to the black and white era. You have to go back, to the Ali era, the Sugar Ray Robinson era was the black and white era, and you know what I'm saying, the Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hagler, Hearns, uh, all those great fighters. To give you a good glimpse into either you look at those fighters, look at their styles, learn about them, read about them, get some knowledge about them, and then you can probably come back and say, shout out to Boxing Beats and Rounds, where he said you have to do some research. You have to do some leg work. Don't be lazy and just say Mayweather the best fighter ever and that's it. That's not. You can't have a debate with no one. You can't have good dialogue with a person that I started watching boxing back in like '85. When I was a youngster, watching it with my uncles. Watching boxing on ABC, Wild World of Sports, and I wasn't deep into boxing, but I was watching it. So over the years, I've grown to see Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns. Start seeing some of their fights that I seen. I seen some of their fights live. I seen some of their fights going back looking at old tapes. I seen Asa De La Hoya career. I seen Pernell Whitaker. I seen Phoenix Trinidad. I seen Roy Jones. I seen George Foreman's second comeback, but not his first career. But I seen his second comeback. I seen the Klitschko's of the world. So I seen a couple eras of boxing. So I got a good grasp, and I know about the past fighters, because either from, you know, my uncles, or I went back and did, you know, research of my own, watching the old, you know, black and white fights, you know, on YouTube, or watching this fighter, seeing when somebody says a great fighter out there, I want to go see about him. I want to go see about a Ray Robinson. I want to see how great he was. You know, I want to see how great Sam Langford was. I want to go see how great a Willie Pep was. You know, I want to go see how great a Henry Armstrong was. So I listened to documentaries and seen, and then, you know, you start seeing like, man, those are some great fighters back in the day. You know, um, these fighters now have not. It's like you could say it's fighters back in the black and white era. You know, like a Willie Pep. You know, 229 wins and 65 KOs, and he had 63 wins without losing his first fight. You know, one of the best defensive fighters ever. You know, went a whole round without throwing a punch. His defense was so great, he won a round without throwing a punch because the other guy couldn't hit him. I mean, can I say Mayweather is better than him? Can I say Mayweather is better than Joe Louis, who had 66 wins, 52 KOs, the heavyweight champion for 11 years, 25 title defenses? This is back when the heavyweight championship, being the heavyweight championship, was like the biggest title in the world. You was the man, you was the baddest man on the planet. You know what I'm saying? The baddest man on the planet. You know, Joe Louis had to fight racism. It wasn't like Mayweather doing now. He couldn't brag about, you know, going in there and knocking out a white guy. He had to be humble. He had to be a humble champion, or he was frowned upon by the you know, the white establishment. You know, they didn't like that. Already didn't like that he was black and he had a heavyweight championship of the world. You know, that was bad enough for him to go in there and brag about knocking, you know, a white guy out was not, you know, acceptable. So he had to fight against not only, you know, his opponents in the ring, he had to fight against the people outside of the ring. And, you know, he held exhibitions, you know, for the troops, and if black people was not present, he didn't hold the exhibition. So, you know, he fought bigger fights inside and outside the ring. Joe Louis was a great American. He served, you know, this country, and then went back and you know, continued his boxing career. You got Sugar Ray Robinson, 173 wins with 108 KOs. You know, can I say Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray Robinson? I mean, people talk about Mayweather's skills. You know, I I think Mayweather have, you know, a great set of skills, but that's, you know, that's up for interpretation. To say Mayweather, like, okay, what you gonna say Mayweather was faster than Sugar Ray Robinson? We don't know if he was faster than Sugar Ray Robinson. I know Sugar Ray Robinson had power in both hands. Are we gonna say, you know, Mayweather right hand was better than Sugar Ray Robinson right hand? Was it, you know, a better? Did he have a better left hook or uppercut than Sugar Ray Robinson? Chances are Sugar Ray Robinson had all the tools. You know, I can say probably one thing Mayweather probably did better than Sugar Ray Robinson, probably his defense. But Sugar Ray Robinson had everything else. You know, what did Mayweather accomplish that Sugar Ray Robinson didn't accomplish? See, if you want to say somebody is, you know, the greatest ever, then you have to do what the other greats did not accomplish. You can't say, oh, because Mayweather undefeated. No, don't give me that. Because Joe Calzaghe is undefeated. He's 40. He won 46 fights, 32 KOs. He retired undefeated. 21 straight super middleweight championship defenses. Can I say Mayweather is better than him? You know, you just can't say Mayweather is better, the best, the greatest fighter ever if you don't do research and know other fighters' accomplishments. You have to put his accomplishments up against other fighters' accomplishments. Because to say he's the best fighter ever and leave it at that, that's not the way to do it. You know, Can I say he's better than Bernard Hopkins? Bernard Hopkins got 54 wins. Oh, no, okay, Bernard Hopkins got 6 losses, but he, defended the middleweight champion 21 straight times. He dominated the middleweight division. What division have Mayweather dominated? Then you're going to have people say, oh, they don't dominate divisions no more. That was back in the day. Hopkins wasn't that far back in the day. He dominated his division. Why Mayweather couldn't stick around and dominate one of his divisions? So you don't give excuses why he can't do it. You can do it if you want to do it. He just didn't do it. So I'm not going to give him and say, okay, well, let's give him credit and he didn't do it. No. Hopkins did it. Why couldn't he do it? Hopkins, 48 years old, the oldest champion ever. He won a lightweight championship twice, 2 or 3 times. He beat, young guns like Javaris Cloud, Kelly Pavlik, He beat Antonio Tarver. Antonio Tarver was on top of his game. Can I say Mayweather is better than Bernard Hopkins? Just say hands down he's better? Can I say Mayweather is better than Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank? He held 3 titles at one time simultaneously. He got 150 wins with 101 KOs. Okay, he got 21 losses, but look how many times he fought. Look how many wins he got. Look how many knockouts the man got. The man held 3 titles at the same time. Went for the middleweight championship of the world. Lost that because it was some shady stuff with the referee. Got paid off or something. And they said he really won that fight. He would have had the middleweight championship of the world. He would have had 4 belts. At that time, they only had 8. They only had 8 divisions, and he would have held half of the belts. Can I say Mayweather is better than Henry Armstrong? I can't say that. I'm gonna go a little bit current because they say, okay, you talk about the black and white era all the time. Let's talk about Sugar Ray Leonard. He won a gold medal, 1976 gold medal. Sugar Ray Leonard, 36 wins, 25 KOs, 3 losses. He won the welterweight championship. He won the middleweight championship at 160. A legitimate middleweight championship, not a junior middleweight championship like Mayweather got it at 154. He won at 160. He won at super middleweight, 168. He won a light heavyweight championship. The fighter of the decade of the 80s. He won fighter of the decade. Mayweather didn't even win fighter of the decade. They gave it to Pacquiao. Can I say he's better than Sugar Ray Leonard? And then y'all say Mayweather can't go up to 160 and fight Golovkin or whoever at 160 or whatever. Even if, okay, you could say Golovkin don't deserve the fight right now. That's fair. But he can't go up to 160 and challenge himself. He can't go up to 168 and challenge himself. What, you saying he too small? Sugar Ray Leonard went up to 160, 168, challenged himself. If you're going to say Mayweather better than Sugar Ray Leonard, that means Mayweather has to do something that Sugar Ray Leonard didn't accomplish. He has to do something that he did not accomplish, something greater than what Sugar Ray Leonard did. He has not, to this point, did anything greater than Sugar Ray Leonard did. So he's not better than Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, you say he's undefeated. Ricardo Lopez went undefeated. He went 38-0. Rocky Marciano, heavyweight champion, dominated his era. He went 49-0 with 43 KOs. Is Mayweather better than him? Did Mayweather accomplish something better than what he accomplished? That's up for debate. I mean, you can't say he's the greatest ever if he's not doing greater things than the all-time greats. So is Mayweather an all-time great, or is he the greatest? According to hardcore Mayweather fans who don't want to do the actual research to see why people that actually know a little bit more about boxing than them, to say Mayweather is not the greatest ever, I'm going to concede he's an all-time great. No doubt he's an all-time great. He is not the greatest ever. That's a stretch, man. To say the man is the greatest ever, then people will say, oh, you hating. No, I'm not hating. The man is not the greatest fighter ever. That's huge mouthful to say that he's the greatest fighter ever. You got Larry Holmes, heavyweight champion. He got 69 wins with 44 KOs, 20 title defenses. He won 48 fights before he lost his first fight. I mean, is Mayweather better than him? Did he accomplish something more than Larry Holmes? I mean, you could say Mayweather went and won titles in other divisions, but that's because he's a lower weight class and he can move up. Larry Holmes can't go nowhere. He held the greatest title in the whole world, baby, the heavyweight championship of the world. Trust me, the heavyweight championship of the world holds more prestige than any other weight division. As soon as a heavyweight champion comes on the scene, he gets more attention than the lower weight classes. The only reason, and I'm giving them credit too, I'm giving Oscar La Hoya credit, I'm giving Trinidad credit, I'm giving Mosley credit, you know what I'm saying, I'm giving Sugar Ray Leonard credit, Hearns, Hagler, I'm giving Pernell Whitaker credit, I'm giving Julio Cesar Chavez credit, I'm giving Mayweather credit. Yes, y'all held it down when it was no dominant heavyweight in the era. But we all know when it's a dominant heavyweight in the era, they get the most shine. They get the most light. Muhammad Ali, when he was fighting, he got the most shine, the most light, because he was the heavyweight champion of the world. He held the greatest championship in the world. Can I say Mayweather is better than Muhammad Ali? 56 wins, 37 KOs. He beat George Foreman. When George Foreman was in his prime, he beat Sonny Liston. When Sonny Liston was the most feared man in boxing, he beat Sonny Liston in a rematch. With that, they said it was a phantom punch, but a lot of people say it was a perfect punch. He beat Joe Frazier twice. He lost to Joe Frazier when he came out of retirement after fighting the biggest fight of his life by not going to the Vietnam War. He lost almost 4 years of his prime. He fought in 2 heavyweight eras. You know, he fought Sonny Liston and fought a fighter like, you can say, Larry Holmes. He fought Archie Moore, the Mongoose. He beat Archie Moore. He beat Floyd Patterson. He beat Ken Norton. He beat Ron Lau. He took on big punches like Ernie Shavers, Ken Norton Jr. George Foreman was a big puncher. Cleveland Williams. Can I say Mayweather is better than Muhammad Ali? I just can't say it. I mean, you have to do work. Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion. You know, back then when he won the belt, heavy racism. They didn't want him to have the title. 80 wins, 45 KOs. Can I say Mayweather's better than Jack Johnson? Can I say Mayweather is better than Jack Dempsey? 65 wins, 51 KOs. Held the heavyweight championship for 8 years. The greatest title in the world. I mean, can't say that. I'm going to throw Roy Jones in there. Roy Jones may got 8 losses, but Roy Jones in his prime dominated boxing, barely losing rounds. I mean, he went through a stretch where when he lost a round, people were shocked. Not a fight, I'm talking about a round. He won the middleweight championship of the world. He won the light heavyweight championship of the world. He won the heavyweight title. Second man in I think like 70, 80 years to do that. He beat Virgil Hill. He beat a Montel Griffin. He beat a Mike McCullen. James Toney in his prime. Bernard Hopkins in his prime. Antonio Tarver came back down from heavyweight to fight Antonio Tarver and won that fight. Do you know how hard it was for him to melt down all that weight to come down to fight a young, hungry lion like Antonio Tarver. Roy Jones was extraordinary in his prime. See, people looking at him like he is now. Yeah, he just fighting. Yeah, he fought way too long. But in his prime for prime, his prime, Mayweather prime, I'm taking Roy Jones Jr. Can I say he's better than Archie Moore, the Mongoose? 183 wins, 131 knockouts, most knockouts in boxing history. Okay, he got 24 losses. He fought more. He fought way more. The man got more knockouts than Mayweather got fights and knockouts put together. Can I say he's better than Archie Moore? Come on, man. Come on. Before you can say he's the greatest ever, you have to come with some research, some heavy research. You have to show me, in your opinion, this is for the Mayweather hardcore fans. In your opinion, leave comments below why you think Mayweather is the greatest ever. Don't say he's the greatest ever, because you don't count the black and white era. Don't say he's the greatest era because all them other fighters in back then suck. You know, shout out to Rollo Jenkins and Zone 6. They made a great video. Why Mayweather is the greatest ever? Why? Or is he great? Why? Something to that effect. Don't, you know, I may get the title wrong, but Rollo Jenkins said something that sparked something in my brain. He said, to be the greatest ever, you have to do something greater than the other greats did not do. What have he done that they didn't do? They're so eye-popping, like, wow, he did that. Because remember, a lot of his fans, the hardcore Mayweather fans, saying 160 is too big for him. Y'all just want to see him get knocked out by a bigger guy. Sugar Ray Leonard went to 160. Y'all say Sugar Ray Leonard went to 168. So how is 160 too big for him? If he's going to be the greatest ever, then he has to do something great. Challenge himself to be the greatest ever. It's going to take him to take some risks, which he don't like to take risks. He don't want to fight a prime Miguel Cotto. He don't want to fight Pacquiao when Pacquiao was hot. You know, he don't want to fight a Paul Spadafore. Yes, I'm saying Paul Spadafore was out there. They had a legendary sparring match. Go look at it on YouTube. Well, he was handling Mayweather pretty good. You know, story went like this. His trainer, Mayweather father, and Spadafore trainer was arguing about, I guess Mayweather said, when you gonna put Spadafore in the ring with a real fighter? And Spadafore trainer said, like who? He said, Mayweather father said, like my son. He said, okay, we can set up a sparring match. He said, okay, let's set one up. He went to Paul Spadafore and said, do you want to spar with him? He said, yeah. They went in and sparred, and the first couple rounds, you know, was competitive, and then after that, Paul Spadafore was just doing whatever he wanted to the great Mayweather, the greatest ever. You know, I mean, I'm gonna go a little bit more current. You say back then, you know, they fought a lot of fights. You know, fighters fought a lot of fights. Okay, Julio Cesar Chavez, he got 108 wins. Not too far from Mayweather's era. Mayweather was fighting at the end, towards the end of Chavez's career, but Chavez got 87 KOs. He got 87 straight wins without losing the fight. Can I say he got 31 title match defenses? He got 31 title wins. Can I say Mayweather is better than Julio Cesar Chavez? Y'all gonna say, oh man, he was slow, he was a Mexican, all he did was take a lot of punishment. The man got 108 wins. You can't poo-poo 108 wins. You can't poo-poo 87 KOs. How many? He got double Mayweather KOs. The man won 87 straight fights. I don't care. You fight 87 people and you win every fight. That's really, really good. You can't poo-poo it and say, oh, he didn't fight nobody. Okay. Mayweather, he could have chose to fight that many fights. He didn't fight that many fights. Okay. I'm not going to discredit Chavez for fighting that many fights because Mayweather decided he didn't want to fight that many fights. Because you have to do something greater than what the all-time greats did. See, this is the point of this whole thing. If you want to be considered great, shout out to Rollo Jenkins, you have to do something greater than the ones that we are saying are great. And then you will say, well, why do y'all always say the old fighters are the greatest fighters? Because they set the standards. They set the standard. And a lot of them set the bar high, really high. Joe Louis set the bar high with 25 title defenses as a heavyweight. You know, Henry Armstrong set the bar high, holding 3 titles at the same time. A Sam Langford, 178 wins with 128 KOs. He set the bar. Larry Holmes, 48 straight wins as a heavyweight. 20 title defenses, second only to Joe Louis. 8 years as champion. He set the bar high. The older fighters set the bar high, so any fighter after that has to go past that bar to say, I'm greater than you. I'm greater than Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm greater than Muhammad Ali. I'm greater than Joe Louis. I'm greater than Archie Moore. I'm greater than a Sam Langford. I'm greater than a Jack Dempsey. I'm greater than a Ezra Charles. I'm greater than a Henry Armstrong. And if you want to go close to his era, I'm greater than a Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm greater than a Hagler. I'm greater than a Chavez. I'm greater than a Roy Jones. You got to go past the bar. You can't meet the bar. Because if you meet the bar, that means you just an all-time great just like they are. So, this is my breakdown. Mayweather is not the greatest fighter ever, because I just went through some fighters that don't put him over those fighters. You know, what it basically proves is he's an all-time great, just like a lot of fighters. An all-time great. Now, in my personal opinion, a fighter that I've seen with my eyes, my favorite fighter is Sugar Ray Leonard. Mayweather better than Sugar Ray Leonard? Because I'm telling you, any Mayweather fan, I don't care who it is, they want to argue that Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray Leonard. We won't even go back to the older fighters. I didn't already prove that. I didn't already told you why he's not the greatest fighter ever. We're going to go, because y'all always say, okay, don't go back, you know, back in the old days, because that's black and white era. Okay, I'm not going to even go back in the old days. I'm going to go to the color era. Sugar Ray Leonard, Mayweather better than Sugar Ray Leonard? Don't think so. Sugar Ray Leonard beat Hagler, came back from almost 4 years off of boxing and faced the best middleweight at that time, and Hagler didn't lose a fight for like 8 years, and Sugar Ray Leonard came in and fought him after being retired for like 3-4 years and beat, despite people saying, oh no, people got their opinion, Sugar Ray Leonard won a fight or lost a fight, but on the judges' scorecards, it got Sugar Ray Leonard winning. He won a gold medal in '76. He beat Hearns in a super fight, a real super fight. They both was undefeated. He beat a Thomas Hearns. He beat a Roberto Duran in a rematch. Made him quit. He was outclassing him so much, he made the man quit. He won a welterweight championship. He was a unified welterweight championship champion. He won a middleweight championship. He won a super middleweight championship. He won a light heavyweight championship. He was the fighter of his decade, of the 80s. If you want to argue with me who has the better legacy and who's the better fighter, leave your comments below or make a response video. If you want to debate, I'll debate you. I'll debate who's the better fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard, my favorite fighter, versus your favorite fighter, Mayweather. Because once I start breaking down the resumes to the studs, I'm going to break Mayweather's resume down to the studs and show you why Sugar Ray Leonard is the better fighter. And if he's the better fighter, then Mayweather can't be the greatest of all times. He can't even get past Sugar Ray Leonard. If he can't get past Sugar Ray Leonard, he's not the greatest of all times. If he can't get past Sugar Ray Leonard, ain't no sense of going to Henry Armstrong. Ain't no sense of going to Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Sam Langford, Archie Moore. Because he can't even get out that era. How can he get to the other eras? So any Mayweather fan want to debate me, I'm up for a debate. Make a response video, or make a response video telling me why you think Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray Leonard, and we can debate. Leave your comments below, and I will read the comments, and I'll get back to you. This is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.